Another ingredient in Institute support was a group of 6 artist fellows from the Music Center roster. They participated alongside the teachers and administrators. There were dancers, actors, and 1 visual artist. The artist fellows brought their own exuberance and expertise to the sessions and often took the lead in demonstrating various exercises.
I know rivers, I know rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers.
Artists also help teachers to break down the Institute Arts experiences into fundamental concepts, skills, and learning processes to construct appropriate lesson sequences for their own grade levels. This not only gave teachers confidence and role models, but raised the bar in terms of artistic commitment and practical translation for their teaching practice. The Artist Fellows were an invaluable part of the process, not mere shills or ringers, but an additional resource to heighten the creative journey. Another vital resource given to each participant was a copy of Selected Poems of Langston Hughes, a paperback edition of Hughes' collected work donated by Vintage Classics. Having taken a significant collective leap as a result of their experience with the blues, teachers began to engage with the poetry of Langston Hughes on a deeper level, exploring the recurring theme of a dream deferred in his work. They posed questions like, what happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? They used a variety of theatrical exercises to interpret images and metaphors in concrete, physical terms, and to discover the characters behind the voices in the poems. Teachers experienced the subtext of poems featuring Madame Alberta K. Johnson as she faced off against the rent man, the census man, and even death himself through enacting a pantomimed boxing match while speaking their characters' lines.
Back windows cracked, kitchen floors greased, there's rats in the cellar, and the attic leaks.
He said, "Ben, it's not right."
Having explored the inner life and emotions of Langston Hughes' characters, teachers were now given the task of creating their own monologue based on a personal dream deferred. As with the blues songs, this was not a mere academic exercise, but challenged teachers to be creative and to discover their own voices. Teachers shared their monologues, honed their skills as storytellers, and refined the voice behind the story. Inspired by their exposure to Hughes, some of these took the form of a poem.
Tomorrow's too far, yesterday's a blank. Time keeps pulling with crickety crank. Now is my buddy, here is my place. I think I'll go for a walk and pay no mind to the chase.
Others, the inner monologue of a character.
I dream of a country where every little baby goes to bed at night, having had enough to eat, with a sweet kiss goodnight, and a plan for tomorrow. I ain't seen this country yet, but I do what I can, and I dream. What kind of country do you want?
Participants were encouraged to examine their dream-deferred monologue against a broader social context. The anchor work was revisited to demonstrate this intersection of the personal and historical voices as the sweeping lines of The Negro Speaks of Rivers were read against a suite of intensely personal blues poems.
I hope my child will never love a man. I say I hope my child never love a man. Love can hurt you more than anything else can.
I know rivers, my soul is grown deep like the rivers.
Both call and response and verbal montage were employed as voices from the streets of Harlem in the 20s were washed over by the timeless currents of Hughes Rivers.
My daddy says, honey, can't you bring me better news? I cried on his shoulder, but he turned his back on me. I cried on his shoulder.
As teachers engaged in their own creative processes, they also generated ideas for their own classroom anchor work lessons. As part of the NEA grant, each teacher or school team of 4 teachers was responsible for developing and teaching a 5-lesson curriculum unit based on an anchor artwork of their own choice. Teachers met in school team and grade-level planning groups while administrators attended special leadership sessions with Music Center staff. Principals also joined in many of the Institute artistic exercises with their teachers, whose post-Institute anchorwork teaching activities they would oversee in the coming school year. The closing day of the Institute featured a culmination for both administrators and teachers. In the morning, school teams worked on creating a performance, drawing upon their blues songs and dream-deferred monologues as text, and utilizing the various dramatic techniques acquired during the week, such as mirroring, tableau, call and response, and soundscape. The results were a true montage of poetry, song, and theater as teachers experienced the collaborative joy of creative expression gleaned from their study of the anchorwork poem, The Negro Speaks of Rivers.
I need to change my world. 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 I need to change my world.
Using the river metaphor, teachers had discovered their power as individual droplets of water and as an even more powerful part of the communal river. As the performances proceeded, it became apparent from the energy in the room that everyone had become one huge, supportive classroom.